Procrastination. What better day to talk about procrastination than on a Monday? And why is this even important? So, I feel like we put off the things that we really need to do because we don't want to do them. And we procrastinate. And that a lot of times is directly correlated to why we're not in a situation we want to be in, why we don't have the business we want to have, why we're not reaching the level of success that we desire. So, why do people procrastinate? So, I have 6 reasons. I'm sure there's a million. But I have 6 reasons why people procrastinate. Number one is not prioritizing the important task. A lot of times people will write out these massive to do lists. Some people don't even write out to do lists, but for people that are planners, they write out these massive to do lists and they knock off the easy things first. It's easy, so I'm going to do this. This will only take me a moment, so I'll do this. And they start doing all the little things, and then they forget to actually do the big thing, or they don't have enough time for the big thing. They don't make time for the income generating activities, the most important things, the things that are going to make the biggest impact. And so it's really, really important that one, you write out a to-do list. What are the things you have to get done? And I always keep like little notepads. If you guys if you guys know me, you know I love stationery and I'm always writing. But when you write out your to-do list, write down the most important thing first, the hardest thing, the thing that you really don't want to do, and knock it out the way first. It's really, really important. And if you are an entrepreneur, doing the income generating activity first is the most important. So a lot of times people will get up and they'll get on social media and they'll post content and they'll do all these things, but they're not focusing on the thing that's actually going to generate the sale. And that's the thing you should be prioritizing. Thank you for the love. And so number two is overwhelm and overthinking. So there's a lot of overthinkers. It's really easy to overthink these days because we have so much information thrown at us on a constant basis with social media, with phones, with tablets. Like we have so much information that we are processing, so it is really easy to overthink and really easy to get overwhelmed because we have emails and notifications and all the things. We seem so busy these days. So I think for overthinking, it's really important to write things down. Again, it goes back to writing things down. It also is good to have an accountability partner or a coach that can allow you to do a brain dump and then make sense of all the things that seem jumbled in your brain. So it's really, really powerful. I do brain dumps every day. I do them for myself. I coach myself sometimes if I don't have a coach that I can speak to in the moment. And I have friends, I have really amazing friends that I can do brain dumps with as well. But doing a complete brain dump will just help you get it out of your brain. And sometimes speaking it allows you to have clarity. And sometimes writing it down allows you to have clarity. But if you keep it jumbled up in your brain, you're going to continue to overthink things. And one of the things with my coaching that I'm really good at is simplifying things for my clients because they're like, oh, I have to do this and this and this and this and this. And I'm like, it's really simple. You just have to do this. And that needs to be your priority. And then you worry about the other things and they fall into place once you do this. So I'm really good at simplifying things. So find you someone or contact me that can help you simplify things. List for sure, and deadlines. Yeah, so deadlines, I think deadlines sometimes creates resistance. And so hear me out. I think that you have to identify what works for you. So some people freak out about deadlines because it creates this resistance of like, oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do this. And then they panic. And then sometimes people are just like, okay, I'm just going to focus and be fully present and not look at the time. You ever look at the time and it makes you freak out, and then you freak out, and like not everyone works well under pressure. So I think it's really important that you identify what works for you. So I always say break things down into milestones. So rather than saying, okay, this is due on this date, and you just have like this like massive deadline that causes you to freak out, but break it down. Like, okay, let's just say we'll use a book, for example. Say you're writing a book, and rather than saying, okay, I'm going to have my book done by this day, and then that's it, break it down into milestones where you say, okay, I'm going to write 2 chapters tonight, 2 chapters by this day, 2 chapters by this. So it is a deadline, but it's broken down into milestones, which reduces the freak out and the panic and the overwhelm. So yes to deadlines, but I just wanted to specify because deadlines can really cause panic in some people. So the next one is fear of failure. This is a huge one, you guys. Fear of failure. What if it doesn't work out? What if this happens? What if this doesn't go right? What if? You never know until you try. So fear of failure to me is just not trying. I personally do not believe in failure. I believe in lessons. So if you try it and it doesn't work out or it doesn't pan out how you intended, it's time to go back to the drawing board and say, what could I have done better? What did I learn from this? How can I improve the next time? So something really powerful that I heard from Kobe Bryant, obviously, rest in peace, and people have been sharing a lot of his wisdom since he's passed. But one of the best things that I heard is he said to a young girl that was playing basketball who lost a game, did you go back and watch the footage from that game? And she says, no, I can't bear to watch it because we lost. He says that's where the biggest lesson is, because you can see what you could have done better and learn from it next time around. So hello, good afternoon. If you hop on, say hey. So one of the most powerful things is really, instead of shying away from your mistakes or what you consider a failure, use that as a learning lesson to go back and be better, stronger, wiser the next time. So a lot of people don't like to look back and evaluate on things that didn't work out, but it's your most powerful teacher. Experience is the most powerful teacher. So I personally do not believe in failure. I believe in lessons. What can you learn from this? What can I take from this? How can I grow from this? All right, so the next one is fear of success. Now, this one is tricky because this is one that people really don't pay attention to. Fear of success. What if it actually works out? What if it actually works out? What does that require of me? Who do I have to be? So say you have this massive goal. Like, let's just say, I'm going to use an example. Say you want to be a TEDx speaker, right? I'm about to get deep on you guys right now. Say you want to be a TEDx speaker and you have to send in your audition tape or whatever it is, and you're fearful of success because, like, okay, what if I do get picked? Then I have to get up there and I have to deliver. And that scares the shit out of some people. Having to deliver, having that responsibility of having to actually do the thing. What is that going to do? What is my life going to look like if my TED Talk goes viral? So fear of success is a lot trickier than fear of failure, because with fear of failure, you stay in the same place and you know that place because it's comfortable. But fear of success, what if it actually does work out? What if my funnel does scale? What if I do hit 6 or 7 figures? Who will I have to be? What will I have to give up? Who am I going to have to turn into to maintain that? That to me is where the biggest procrastination comes from, because people are comfortable in their situations. They're complacent in their situations and they're afraid of change. So the success requires change. The goal, if you hit that goal, it requires change, and people don't know what that looks like, so they self-sabotage with procrastination. Woo! You guys, go back and listen to that because I just dropped some wisdom right there. Okay, next one is lack of motivation. And to me, lack of motivation still falls into that complacent, like you're okay with mediocrity, like you're okay with just an average life, you're okay with just getting by, blowing in the wind, so you don't have motivation to want more. But to me, again, that's fear of success, because you don't know what it looks like or what it feels like, or, you know, like you're not going to be able to slack off if you reach a certain level of success, because you have this responsibility to maintain it. So you're not going to be able to sit and binge, you know, on Netflix all the time if you have this like super successful business, which, you know, obviously people still watch Netflix, but I'm just giving random examples. There's always an exception to the rule, but that lack of motivation is not having also a strong enough why. You don't know your why. You don't know your purpose. You don't know what lights your fire, like what impact do you want to make in a world. So you're not motivated to push forward because your why isn't strong enough. You're complacent. You're just like, okay, well, this is as good as it gets. And you just settle. You settle. So a lack of motivation to me is settling. Okay. Number 6 is you are more committed to your excuses than your goals. You cannot be committed to staying in the same place and advancing and growing. You can't commit to both. So which one is it going to be? Are you going to commit to your excuses? Oh, well, I'm busy and this and that and or are you going to say, I'm going to do what it takes to get it done? You know what I mean? Like there's so many excuses. I don't have time is the biggest one. It's a pet peeve. If you ever work with me as a coach, do not ever say I don't have time. Like it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like don't say it to me because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Oprah, freaking Tony Robbins, like Beyonce, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Do you rather watch Netflix or do you rather get off your ass and get it done? It really boils down to that, you know, where you focus your time and energy. So, all right, so those are 6 reasons why people procrastinate. So how do we combat that? How do we avoid procrastination? Number 1 is self-control and discipline. I call this ditch the distractions. Ditch the distractions. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Can you say that fast? Ditch? I can't say it fast. Ditch the distractions. So social media is one of the biggest distractions. And I know for me, because I do so much business on social media, it gets a little difficult because you have to like post content, but then you get caught up because you start scrolling. Social media is one of the biggest distractions. So finding a way to minimize how much scrolling you're doing on social media. And self-control, discipline, like when you have a to-do list, are you like, oh, you know what? Let me go do some laundry. Oh, let me go call this person. Oh, let me go check my mail. Like it's so easy to get distracted, but you have to laser focus. Laser focus, write out your to-do list. Put the most important things on the top and focus on that before you focus on anything else. Put your phone on do not disturb and get it done. That discipline is what contributes to success. You have to have self-control. You have to know how to focus. And I know that like for some people, like not everyone's meant to be like an entrepreneur, for example, or work for themselves. And being really honest with yourself, like, you know, you may need someone to give you a structure, like, you know, work from this time to this time. Not everyone is disciplined, but if you want to have a business, if you want to be a coach, if you want to have any type of time freedom, you have to understand discipline. You have to, or you won't get it done. And you'll find all these little distractions. Well, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this. And you won't get it done. You won't get the main activities that contribute to your success and your goal done if you don't have discipline. All right, number 2 is prioritizing. So this kind of goes into the discipline. And I mentioned writing out the to-do list. A really good resource is the book Eat the Frog. And the whole thing is about prioritizing. So the frog is the one thing that you really don't want to do, the hard thing that you don't want to do, but you have to do in order to reach your goal. Really easy read. You can find it on YouTube actually. And I think it's only like an hour or 2, but really, really good book when it comes to prioritizing. So making sure that you're doing the income generating activities first and knocking those out. And, you know, with social media, they've painted this picture of like what it is to be an entrepreneur. You see so many people, you know, on their laptops at their rooftop, and i.e. me. I'm guilty of this, but I work my ass off, you guys. So like, don't ever get it twisted and think that I'm like sipping mimosas all day, every day. Like, that's not what it is. I like taking pictures of sipping mimosas, but I work my ass off. So don't ever get it twisted. And I make sure I wake up and I do the income generating activities first. So prioritizing. And if you do check out that book, he basically says, eat the frog, like eat the frog. So it's a weird analogy, but eat the frog. Do the thing first that you need to do in order to reach the level of success or complete that goal. So the next one is self-awareness. This is so powerful, and this is something that I have really been diving deep into. We have negative pre-programming, we have limiting beliefs, we have subconscious blocks that are causing us to have certain patterns and habits. So if you know that you're a procrastinator, you have the ability. Awareness is the first key, and then taking the action to actually fix it is the second half of it. So having that self-awareness of, if you're feeling this kind of way, you're not as productive. So like, let's just say you went out the night before and you didn't get a full 8 hours of sleep. You know that that's not going to make you as productive the next day. Or if you are going through relationship issues, you won't be able to focus. The more awareness you have of your habits and your thought patterns and your process, the more you can use that to your advantage to say, okay, I know I need to get this done by this day, so let me make sure I get the proper amount of rest. Let me make sure that I'm not focused on my relationship at this moment. Let me make sure that my friends know I have something that I'm trying to accomplish, so don't be texting me all day. Whatever the case may be, self-awareness is definitely key. People don't step outside of themselves and look in at their own patterns, and then they wonder why don't I have the success that I desire? Why am I not making the money that I desire? It's our own patterns that contribute to our reality. You create your reality. So if you're not where you want to be, it's time to take a look at yourself and figure out why. However, we all have blind spots, so this is where a good coach comes in. So if you need someone to help you with that, you know who to call. So the next one is goal setting. So are you setting goals, and are you setting big enough goals? I know that a lot of people have these goals that are minor, and one of the things that I've really been stressing is like, dream bigger. For myself, for my clients, dream bigger, because the possibilities really are endless. So setting goals, if you don't set goals, it's kind of like, again, you're just blowing in the wind. And no offense, if you're happy and content. But if you listen to me, you're definitely someone who wants more out of life, who's going for their best life and their best case scenario. So you have to set goals. You have to have something to aim for. Like, if you don't have something to aim for, you're just shooting blindly in the dark. So really having that aim, so you know what you're doing when you get up every day. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm like super motivated. So if I don't have a goal, I'm like, oh, what am I doing with my life right now? I have to have a goal, but I know some people are not like that. So if you need help, shameless plug, if you need help goal setting, I'm your girl. Definitely your girl. So number 5 is remembering your why. Here is where that lack of motivation comes in, or complacency. It's because your why is not big enough. You know the saying where if it's important enough to you, you'll get it done. Your why has to be important enough. Your purpose has to be important enough. The legacy you want to leave in this world, like the impact that you want to make in this world, it has to be important enough to you. And some people's motivation and their why is their children, their family. And if you don't have children and you don't have family, you have to have something that lights you up. You have to have something that sets your soul on fire. Or if you don't identify that, you're not going to get it done. So it's really, really important that you know your why. Remember your why and remind yourself of it every single day. This is why vision boards are really powerful, or why people, have pictures of their family or their kids close by, so they can remember, this is why I work so hard. This is why I work so hard. So remembering your why. Number 6, last but definitely not least, is reward yourself. We don't just like work to die and then that's it. Like, you are meant to enjoy your life. You have to reward yourself. So when I say reward yourself, breaking it down into milestones and rewarding yourself with every micro or macro win. So what I like to do, different things motivate me. Usually it's food. I'm a huge foodie. So like if I set a goal like, okay, I'm going to launch this course and I want to sell this many. When I hit this number, which usually I break things down into quarters, when I hit this number, I'll treat myself to dinner. When I hit this number, I'll treat myself to, a spa day or whatever. So breaking things down into micro, macro wins and rewarding yourself because it makes the journey that much more enjoyable. Because that's what it really is. It's the journey. It's not the final destination, because once you hit that, you're going to have more goals. So it's really finding a way to enjoy the journey. So really quick recap, why people procrastinate: not prioritizing the important tasks, overwhelm, overthinking, fear of success, fear of failure, lack of motivation, and you're more committed to your excuses than your goals. And how do we fix that? We fix it with self-control. We fix it with discipline. We fix it by ditching the distractions. We fix it by prioritizing the important tasks, prioritizing the income generating tasks. We fix it with self-awareness, understanding your thought patterns, understanding your habits, because once you understand it, then you can adjust it so it works for you. We fix it with goal setting, remembering our why, and rewarding ourselves, breaking things down into quarters and milestones and rewarding ourselves with each micro or macro win. So I hope you found value in this. Procrastination is a huge, huge, huge thing. And usually when people are not gaining the success that they desire, it's because they're procrastinating. They're not getting the things done that they need to get done. So don't let that be you. That is my Monday motivation. So I hope you go out there and crush it this week, now that you know how to not procrastinate. And just remember, it really takes time to adjust our thought patterns and our habits. So be gentle with yourself. It's not going to be like, okay, I know this now, poof, tomorrow I no longer procrastinate. It's a gradual process. So just do something today to make sure that you're not procrastinating. Write out your to-do list, prioritize your to-do list, and really focus on getting the important things done, and then just keep at it. It's a continuous effort. It's not a quick fix. So that's my message. I hope you found value in this. And until next time, love and light.